Hello everyone, it's SpawnPoint and welcome back to another video. So if you didn't know already, Xbox released their own gaming wireless headset last week, but there's some good and bad news. The bad news is, out of the box they don't sound great, but the good news is it can be improved, but it might cost you. So if you're wondering, is it worth the £90 or $100 price tag, I'll give you a quick unboxing, overview, mic test, sound settings and my overall opinion. Okay, so first up, the unboxing. Now, unfortunately, the UK retailer that I bought this from, well, they delivered it to me with a damaged box. Not a big deal, but it's still pretty disappointing. Then inside the box, we've got the headset. Then under this plastic mold, we've got a USB charging cable, and it's USB-C as well, and that measures 14 inches. We've also got the setup instructions, which, to be honest, I actually had to use these, which is pretty rare. And that's it. You'll notice that there's no USB dongle, and that's because the Xbox doesn't need it as it uses Bluetooth, so it connects in the same way as your controllers do. Okay, so first impressions when I picked up this headset, it feels really nice. It's pretty light but solid feeling as well. Now, it doesn't feel flimsy at all, which is something I was kind of expecting at this price point. So the overall style and design, I like it. It clearly looks on brand with the Xbox. In fact, I would say it's clearly made for the Xbox Series X. It's got the similar colour theme going on. So we've got the matte black frame, and then we've got the green highlights on both ear cups as well. I mean, even one of the buttons are green. Now, I'll cover that in a second, but the controls on the headset are really impressive. So the branding is really nice. You've got a small Xbox logo on the right ear cup. It's quite clean and understated as well. And then the frame itself, well, the top headband is quite a hard plastic, very similar to the outer ear cups. It's got like a matte finish to it, so it'll probably pick up fingerprints quite easily over time, but it looks good. Now the ear cups, they look like they are made from black leather, but they're actually made from polyurethane. So it feels really soft to the touch, and then inside it's actually got foam cushions as well. So it feels really kind of spongy and quite soft on your ears. Now you can see on the inside you've got the letter L and the letter R as well, and that obviously indicates which way round you should be wearing these. And then there's the microphone here. So this is actually pretty small, but it tucks away when you're not using it, and it's got an LED indicator so you can see whether it's on or off. But what I'll do is I'll do a mic test and I'll explain more about this microphone later. So talking about the overall comfort of the Xbox headset, it feels okay. So it's got an over-ear design, and that means that your ears will fit inside the ear cups rather than being pinned by them. Now, as mentioned before, the ear cups are made from a fake leather which feels soft to the touch, and inside it's got a nice foam cushion, so it does feel really nice. Now the headband, although it's got a metal frame inside and it makes it feel really sturdy, it's wrapped with this kind of foam padding, so it actually feels really soft and comfy on the top of your head. So you just pull or push the headband to your desired size and it will just fit on your head. Now it is quite stiff. Now that means that it's not going to be sliding up and down when it's on your head as well, and I've had zero issues with the comfort from the top part of the band. However, one complaint that I do have is, especially after wearing them for about 2 or 3 hours, is that they feel quite tight on the ears. Now I don't have a big head, contrary to what people say, but they do feel a little bit too tight on my ears. Now even with the padding and the foam inside, it kind of feels a little bit uncomfortable after about 2 hours of use. It feels like the band is probably slightly too firm across the top, and it feels like they're kind of pinching more than they should be, but that's my personal opinion and experience so far. So moving on to the buttons and the controls. So the overall design of the buttons is pretty clean, everything just kind of works. Now on the left cup you've got the green button. Now this acts as both the power button and the sync button to get you set up. So if you press and hold the button for about 1 second, it will power the headset on, and then when you turn it on, this is what it sounds like. Then if you press and hold the green button for 4 seconds, it will then go into the sync or pairing mode. Now this is a really cool design, I like this. So the left ear cup, the outer piece here, this is your voice and game volume balance. So you just turn the dial and you can actually adjust the balance of what you're hearing between your party chat and your in-game sounds. Now this is a really nice feature, and it's definitely made changing this game volume a little bit easier than using a typical dial. Then on the mic itself there's a mute button, so tapping that will switch between it being muted and obviously being able to chat. Now there is a small LED light on the mic as well, and you can see that whether you're muted or not. But as the mic is so short, it's actually quite difficult to see whether that LED is on. So if you saw my Arctis 7P review last week, you'll see that also had an LED indicator on the mic, but as the mic was quite long, you could easily see whether it was on or off. Then on the right cup, there's the exact same rotating ear cup feature, and this time this is used for the overall headset volume. So again, you spin it to either increase or decrease the overall sound. So this is awesome to see that we've also got a USB-C charging port. This should be a standard really, so it's great to see. Right, so this is why you're here. What do they sound like? Are they any good? And what settings do we have to play with? Okay, so the bad news first of all is out of the box they sound muffled and they're quite bass heavy, to the point where it's not enjoyable, and I'll tell you what, after about 5 minutes of use I was ready to box them up and send them back. But the good news is they can be improved quite easily. So fortunately with the Xbox headphones you do have the ability to adjust the EQ in the main settings. So this inbuilt equalizer is actually incredible. So you can either use the presets that are here already, as you can see, or you can go ahead and just tweak and customize your own. So for me, I found that reducing the bass was key, and I have found not a single reason to use the bass boost option. There's just no need for it at all. But even after messing around with the settings, I couldn't get these to sound perfect. Everything sounded kind of muffled, but even then I went and compared them to my Astro A10s, A20s and the Arctis 7Ps, and overall they all sounded better. But there is a way to get these sounding even better. So if you didn't know already, this headset does support Dolby Atmos. Now I bet this is a feature that most people, people who will just buy the headset and turn it on, will probably overlook this. Now in order to get the most out of the headset, you first need to download and install the Dolby Atmos app from the store. But there is a catch, it's not free. So it's only free for 6 months, then if you like it, you can go ahead and buy it. So at the moment it's £14.24 or $14.99. Now once downloaded, it will allow you to enable the Dolby option on the headset. Now within the Dolby Atmos app itself, there are some demos on there to get an idea of what the headset is capable of. So there's some trailers and some random clips as well. Now as soon as I heard these, I knew the headset was going to get better. But anyway, the sound difference is night and day, seriously. No one should overlook this feature. So I've been playing some games over the last week, and during the gameplay I would pause it, I would swap the sound settings, and I would compare it with the Dolby switched on and off. And wow, honestly, it made such a difference. Forza for me was the most notable. It just sounded kind of fuller. Going back to the default sound actually made it sound comically bad. And then I jumped on Warzone and I tried the directional sound to kind of get an idea of how good this headset was at picking up footsteps and gunfire. And again, I was really impressed. But you've got to remember the price point. These are less than $100. So what this showed me was that the headset itself was very capable of creating very good sound. Just out of the box, they just sounded okay. But with the Dolby on, they sounded decent. Now I just wanted to point out that not all games support Dolby Atmos yet, but the games that I played that did included Warzone, Forza, Ori and the Will of the Wisps and Gears 5, and they all made a massive difference. Another awesome feature if you enable this in the settings is the option to auto mute your mic, so when you're not talking it will actually mute itself, kind of like a noise gate, so that's cool. So talking about the microphone, this is really short, it doesn't extend or pull out at all, so it's definitely a shower. Now it's got plenty of movement though, so when you're needing to move it about you can obviously have it out in front or you can flick it up and actually kind of tuck it into the ear cup itself. Now the ideal location for this mic is basically pointing it straight ahead towards the side of your mouth. Now this seems to pick up the best level of my voice during my testing so far. But in terms of the quality of the microphone itself, I've just recorded this next clip on the headset to give you an idea of what it sounds like. Okay, so this is a mic test on the Xbox wireless headset. And this gives you an idea of what my voice would sound like if I was in a party chat. Now, obviously, I'm not going to edit this at all. So what you're listening to now is exactly what it sounds like on the console. And just for comparison, here is a mic test I did on the Arctis 7P and the Astro A20s. Okay, so this is a mic test on the SteelSeries 7Ps. So it gives you an idea then of what your voice would sound like if you're playing online or you're in a party. Okay, so this is a test with the Astro A20 Gen 2s. So this gives you an idea then of what this headset sounds like if you were in a party or you were playing online. Is it clear? Does it do a good job of muting sounds around me? And obviously what's the noise cancelling like as well? So obviously I'll listen to this back in the next 30 seconds or so and get an idea of what I think. So setting up the headset for the first time or any time that you want to swap consoles or devices, well that's pretty easy. So as I mentioned, there are no dongles at all to use on this as it uses Bluetooth. So all you need to do is turn the headset on by pressing the green power button for about a second, and then once it's on, you need to press and hold the same green button for about 4 seconds, and now it's ready for pairing. So if you're connecting this to an Xbox, you just need to press and hold the sync button on the console itself, and within a few seconds it will connect, and that's it. The first time that you'll connect, you'll probably need to download an update, but that won't take long. Now once set up, you'll actually be able to turn the Xbox on by pressing the headset on first, just the same way as you do with a controller. Now one issue that I have had is when I wanted to turn the headset off, I would just instinctively press and hold the power button on the headset, but that wouldn't turn the headset off, that would then start the pairing again. So what you need to remember is when you actually press the button, you only need to hold it for about 1 second to turn the headset off. So if you want to pair the headset with other devices, well you can, because it just uses Bluetooth. So I've actually paired it with my iPhone, and all you need to do is press the sync button on the headset, and that will obviously enable the Bluetooth, and then you can go on your phone and you can just connect to it as you would with any Bluetooth device. Now I just wanted to point out that this is a wireless headset, so you cannot use it wired. So there's no 3.5mm jack, so say you did run out of charge, you could not plug this into your controller instead. But the fact it's Bluetooth, it's great that it works on any device. When it comes to using the headset, you'll get about 15 hours of battery out of it, so that's not bad, and it'll take about 3 hours to fully charge it. But if you do need a quick charge, as you've forgotten about a gaming session that you have planned tonight, well, a 30-minute charge will give you about 4 hours of use. Now, as mentioned before, it comes with a USB-C charging cable, and that's quite good, and it also means it will plug into the front of the Xbox if you need to charge it, but that cable is really short. Now, when it is charging, a little orange light will show on the headset, obviously gives you an indicator that it is already charging. You'll also be able to see the battery percentage on screen on the Xbox, the same as you do with your controller. So would I recommend the Xbox wireless gaming headset, especially for the £90 or $100 price point? Well, I think for the price it's actually pretty good, especially when you've got the Dolby Atmos enabled. So comparing them to, say, the Sony Pulse 3Ds, which I know are for the PlayStation 5, I would say the Xbox headset with the Dolby enabled are actually better. The sound quality, the mic quality is better, plus you don't need a dongle, and it will work with your mobile, your tablet, your PC, all via Bluetooth. Also, the dials on the side of the headset are genius. I absolutely love that. But with that said, they cannot be used wired at all. You'll need the $15 Dolby Access app installed, and for me, they were a little bit uncomfortable on my ears after a few hours of use. But if your budget is under $100 and the comfort side of things isn't really an issue, I would definitely give these a go. You won't be disappointed. Well, you've just made it to the end of another video, so thank you. If you drop a Xbox headset in the comments, I will give you a thumbs up, as I know you've made it to the end. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video. Please hit that like button, as it really helps me out, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. You can also follow me on Instagram and Twitter. Until next time.